Today I will be disassembling my fuel pump assembly. I've chosen to go with the Airtex E2471. The E2471 is the fuel pump and the FS170 is the strainer. And this is a popular replacement for the Ford Probe MX6 626 for the 4-cylinder. This is a 4-cylinder model, so make sure you get the right one. And when you buy this, you also have to buy a strainer with it. You have to buy this separately, but you have to make sure that you get those at the same time. Also, you will need to buy a new fuel filter. This is a Wix 33099 fuel filter. In order to validate your warranty, you have to replace the fuel pump filter, strainer, which is this, and the fuel pump. You have to clean and flush the inside of the fuel tank, which I have already done. I'll replace any damaged vehicle fuel pump wiring, and that would be this connector if there's damage on this in any way, and replace the fuel filter. So I'm all set to have a valid warranty from Airtex, and we'll just go over what happened to my fuel pump. And I was correct, as in the Real Fixes Real Fast video. Here's my strainer. My strainer has completely disintegrated, torn apart on both ends. What I believe to be the main problem is right here, this hose, this rubber hose. Just like in the Real Fixes Real Fast video, this rubber hose has completely separated, and I'm pretty sure that's where my leak is going to be coming from. I'm going to start with the disassembly. First, I'm going to start by removing the fuel pump with the screws. This looks like flathead. Yeah, first probably be a good idea to disconnect the harness here. This one down. I'm going to have to replace these clamps as well. I'm going to have to replace this hose anyway, so I'm not worried about messing it up too bad. Take a look at this hose here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a rupture right there. Right there. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like a split to me. The inside looks okay. Well, maybe I could just try and blow through it. Yeah. I can definitely blow through there. That's where my split is. Alright, so I found the problem. Congratulations. I just need to get a little piece of hose. I don't know what the diameter on that is going to be. I have some 3/8 inch. I think the 3/8 inch is going to be too big. It might do, but I would really like to go one size smaller. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and inspect this strainer element. It has a 90-degree elbow on it, so it looks like it's going to go like that. This one does have a 90-degree. It's just this one is so messed up that it wants to lay flat, but it should be up like in this position. Oh, it does come with new seals and gaskets. And a whole thing, and a wiring harness, and all that. Nice. See, I didn't think this came with the new gasket. It does. Alright, cool. I don't think this tube has to come out, and this bracket is actually welded on to this pipe. So what has to come out is just the pump itself. I have to disconnect this strainer piece. And I don't have to worry about damaging the pump or the strainer because they're both coming out. I just need to make sure that I don't damage this housing. Oh man, that thing is on there. See, I bet you it's a kind of looks like it should sit down there like so. Aha! Just a matter of twisting it out, I guess. Hope that comes with a new one. Oh, got that out. Pretty neat stuff. Make sure that you consult the Airtex website to make sure that you get the exact one for your model, because it might be different depending on year or transmission engine configuration, especially if you're in a different country. This is mostly for North American 626, MX6 probes and proteges. In other countries, you might need something completely different, because your fuel tank might be completely different from the North American version. So what you see me doing here might be a little bit different from what you might have to do. The general procedure is all going to be the same, absolutely, but like for instance, your wiring colors or your wiring harness might not be exactly the same. Your strainer might look a little bit different, your pump might look a little bit different, but overall the general procedures are all going to be the same. Alright, now I'm going to unbox the supplies that come in your Airtex kit. And the first thing that you'll probably notice are all of the seals. There are a ton of different kinds of seals, and these are for your fuel tank lid, as well as on the fuel tank itself. So, and there's many different seals because there's many different cars that use this exact fuel pump, but they have different housings. So, and Airtex is pretty good, and they know all the cars that might need which seal. Oh, how about that? Look at that. I don't have to worry about going out and getting a new hose. It comes with a new hose. It looks like 5/16. The large diameter hose that I have is 3/8. So 5/16 is the one that you want. 5/16, 7.9 millimeter. And this is a really nice looking fuel hose. And some other things that you get with the kit. Yes, this is a new seal. This is going to be the one that I want. That's awesome. And these are rubber, but I'm not exactly sure what that thing is for. And the other things that it comes with is a wiring harness, and we have some brand new hose clamps. These are flatheads, and I hate flatheads. Everyone that watches my videos knows how much I hate flathead hose clamps. Airtex, please, for the love of God, use Phillips heads. Phillips head hose clamps. Flathead hose clamps should not exist. They should not exist. Period. Someone should kill the distributor who is handing these out to people. Phillips only, please. Alright, so that's a rundown of all the new parts. Now, obviously, this hose is much longer than the hose for my pump. So more than likely, I will end up cutting this. But on some vehicles, they might need this length. That's why they provide this length. And you will have to cut it to fit, but do not cut it before everything is installed and you see exactly what the length is. The new pump might require you to add just a little bit more hose because of a different design of the Airtex pump. I have yet to figure it out. So do not cut this hose first thing and just try and match it up to this. Always leave your hose cutting for last. And then here we have the fuel pump unit itself. Nice shiny new fuel pump. It says E2471 29031 3BT. I hope the BT does not mean beta test. Match them up. Same exact. So this one comes with a little tang. And that tang is very similar to the one used on your door courtesy lights. If you've ever taken apart your door. Fits onto a prong and holds the prong in place. Okay, so it's obvious that this piece has to come out. I think this should just push right through. How much does that look like a spider? That scared me. Wow. It's a piece of the strainer. Yeah, this whole housing split right here. There is some sediment and rust. That thing was rusting away in there. This pump, it was on its way out anyway. I don't see any markings on this pump. There were any markings on this pump at one time. They've long since been worn off by the gasoline and rust and sediment and just churning in there. Anyway, this just slides in like so. It's gonna be a tight fit. That is a really tight fit. Now look at the difference there. Okay, I figured out this part and this part are not needed on our car. These are for different cars. So you can chuck those in the box. Also, these clips on other cars are what holds this tube to this housing. You know, they clip in like so. These are not needed on the 626 MX6 Pro either. So you can chuck those in the box. And this harness connector you will not need either. That is the correct connector for this pump. So other cars or other vehicles might need this harness. We do not. So that gets chucked in the box. When it comes time to put on your strainer, yes, you will need this tang. Do not lose this tang. We do need that tang. Put that in the bag and the tang in the bag with it. And we will be swapping out our clamps as well, so I'm not going to want the old clamps. Get rid of that old clamp as well. So I only have to go from here to here. I think the length of this hose is just right. We are going to copy that. And it looks pretty good. See, but there's this tiny little threaded screw there. I have no idea what that's for. That's got to be for a different assembly. Alright, first thing I want to do when I assemble my pump, I spray a little bit of PB Blaster on here. Just a little bit. And that'll help the hose go on a lot easier. Make sure that it fits all the way down. Without doing that, you're not going to get it all the way on there. This is a real tough fit. Okay, so don't forget to put your clamps on. Make sure it's seated in there all the way. The hose will slip right on there. Ta-da! Make sure that you have enough pipe. My pipe ends right there, so it means I got plenty of room for my clamps. And hopefully I orientated my clamps in a easy to get to fashion. No, I did not. I put this clamp on the wrong side. I want to have my clamp outside, so I'm going to have to take this off. Now I can start running my clamps down. And my pipe is about right there. So I'm going to put my clamp on about right there. You just want to make sure it's snug, and that's not going to come off. You do not want to over tighten these. If you over tighten, you can split your hose. Alright, now I got your new fuel pump in. Make sure that's seated all the way in there correctly. This is going to be your return hose. This is how fuel gets back into your tank. This is just to make sure that fuel does not come streaming out. And I don't really see a problem with that. I think everything looks good. I'll take some throttle body cleaner and just clean off all the grime and stuff that I can see, because this will mess up the seal. You can see all this dirt. I mean, that's a lot of dirt, and that's right where the seal rides. So just clean up the seal. And on this side, this seal looks really good. Let's say you do have to put a new seal on here. What you can do is just use some RTV or something, a real thin coat of RTV. You know, just run your finger along it, and that way it sticks in place, so that when it comes time to reinstall and you flip the thing upside down, your whole seal doesn't fall off. And that's the only reason I would use RTV. It's just as a helper to keep that in place. The seal provided by Airtex, and just match up the thickness there, just to make sure that nothing's been worn away over time. I think this one's a little bit thicker, so I will go ahead and replace that. So, and you can tell it's been stuck down by some adhesive, so we'll just go ahead and take that out. Looks like a identical match to me. Alright, so just take a dab of this stuff, like so, and just run it around the rim. And that's just to help it stick in place. You let that sit for a couple hours, let that cure, and that's how I do it. Here's basically what it looks like when I'm going to go reinstall it. Just use some carb cleaner. Sprayed off the top. That did amazingly well. I didn't scrub it or do anything, just carb cleaner. Really happy with those results. Looks great. This is ready to go back in the tank. I'm going to have to pick up that video later because I've got a lot of other projects ahead. So this is actually going to get stored probably for a couple days to a week while I work on other projects. And then I'll be back to finish this up on the reinstallation video. So that's how you assemble your Mazda 66 MX6 Ford Probe Protege Telstar fuel pump. Neato.